What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dubrunski here, and if there's one thing that I have noticed from streaming Diablo 2 Resurrected lately is that there is a lot of brand new players. I get pummeled with all types of sort of noob style questions. In today's video, I'm going to cover 10 tips or tricks for new players, returning players, noob players, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure a couple trolls will tell me I'm a noob in the comment section below, but this video is for all you new players or returning players that don't remember a lot from the original game. So I do hope you guys find this video useful. Again, 10 tips or tricks that are going to help you out. Again, though, a quick reminder for those that don't know, if you guys do enjoy my YouTube content or you're new to this channel, I do stream twice a week on Twitch. I do have the link for my Twitch channel in the description below, twitch.com/Dubrunski125, so any follows over there on that platform would be very much appreciated. Other than that, guys, really hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump in.
My brothers have escaped you.
So kicking off this video, the first tip that I have for you is how to teleport long distances with a very low mana pool. I've had a lot of people asking me, how do you struggle with mana issues early on with the sorceress? And really, you're always going to struggle with mana issues early on. It's just kind of how it is. But there fortunately is a trick, or sort of a teleport trick, that you can take advantage of as soon as you can start buying greater mana potions. So as soon as you hit Act 4 and Act 5, you can start to buy these in normal difficulty. I'm just going to demonstrate basically the tip or trick, but you want to make sure that you're actively teleporting as you're consuming potions. So just to demonstrate, let's say you're playing around with a new character, got a handful of teleports, that's it, and you maybe chug another potion, and you go again. But if you actually consume those potions as you're teleporting, you can continue to keep the chain of teleports going for much longer than what you should, because you're actively recovering your mana as you're teleporting. So just to demonstrate, so I heal, teleport again, drink another potion. I'm just timing these to actively consume them as I'm teleporting. And again, it's all because of those greater healing and mana potions. Excuse me, the greater healing mana potions. Because I'm actively recovering that globe as I'm teleporting. So you can see, just going through a couple belts of potions here, I have literally teleported all the way across the start of Act 5. So just keep going, keep consuming potions. And I'm now in the area plateau. I've covered a huge portion of the map with a very low mana pool, 170. It's just from actively consuming those potions as you teleport. So that is tip or trick number 1. Tip number 2 is how to heal your mercenary without actively dragging a potion and putting it on top of his character icon in the corner screen. Because a lot of people think that this is the only way to heal a mercenary, and it's definitely not. There's two things you can do. One is you can shift and left click on a potion in your belt if you want to.
Thanks.
He says thanks, so he's been healed. He doesn't actively, he's not like taking damage right now, but
Thanks.
that is an option, shift and left clicking on the potion, or shift and whatever the hotkey bind is that you use for your potion. So I just use 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people rebind their stuff, but if you shift
Thanks.
and use the actual hotkey,
Thanks.
that will actively send potions to your mercenary. So it's definitely a lot faster, more effective way than painfully dragging your potions and dropping it on top of the mercenary icon. Don't do this. Tip number 3 is how to buy potions very quickly. So this is accomplished in 2 methods. The first is using shift and left click to buy potions to fill up your entire belt. So typically I like to have 2 or 3 stacks of healing potions and then 2 or 3 stacks of mana, depending on the progression of my character. So early sorceress, I'll usually run kind of split, or possibly 3 mana, 1 health. But if you shift and left click, you can fill up all of these empty slots. So shift, left click fills up that, and then shift, left click will fill up the mana. Now the second portion of this is to unequip your belt. It's going to take everything that was in slot 2 and up, and it's going to put it in your inventory, and then equip your belt again, and you can shift, left click, left click. You can do it one more time, shift, left click, and that's a really fast way to completely fill up your potion belt or your inventory, so you're not actually sitting there and, like, you don't want to manually click and buy each potion, right? This is a much faster way. Shift, left click, and then unequip and re-equip your belt, and you can replenish all of your potions very quickly. Tip number 4 is consuming some antidote potions to boost your poison res before you take on normal and Duriel. So this is definitely a very beginner-oriented tip, but you'll see that This is a level 24 sorceress, so I'm a little bit over-leveled for this video, but just for demonstration purposes, I have 43 poison res. If I consume a couple potions, jumps up to 85. So imagine if you had 0 res, the value that's going to jump up. It's going to reduce a lot of her damage because she is primarily poison. So I'm going to toast her pretty quickly. But she is going to shoot poison at you, and just consuming a couple antidote potions is temporarily going to boost your poison res, which means you're going to take less damage, and you're going to have an easier first time against Andariel. Okay, so tip number 5 is very similar to tip number 4, except you're consuming a different potion to boost your res for a different boss. So the first very challenging end act boss for new players is going to be Duriel in Act 2. He has an aura called Holy Freeze, which is going to slow you down, and it's also going to do some significant cold damage to you. Unfortunately, if you consume Thawing potions, similar to antidote potions, you can boost your cold res. So just for demonstration purposes, I might be covering it a little bit, but I have 63 cold res, and if I consume some Thawing potions, it will boost it again up to 85. Now, it won't boost it up to 85 when you're starting at 0, but just because this isn't a scratch like 0 res character, but it does boost your res up. So it's going to make your battle a little bit easier against Duriel. So again, we'll just quickly take him out here. So yeah, just that temporary boost of cold damage is going to reduce the extent of cold damage that you're going to take from Holy Freeze. So definitely a very important tip, consuming Thawing potions before you take on Duriel in normal. Tip number 6 is luring out some of the Baal waves to make the runs a little bit easier. Now this is mostly just used in normal difficulty, solo gameplay, or if you're playing with a few group members, but you don't actually have to kill the Baal waves because they can actually be pretty challenging for new players. So I'm just going to demonstrate this on wave number 5 actually. So just gather up all these guys, a couple teleports, and we'll lure them out. Try and bring them out of the throne room. Come on, guys. Actually, I already lured out wave number 4. But that's okay. So we'll bring all these guys out. Teleport like that back to Baal. Baal thinks I killed the waves while I actually didn't. I can just skip. Usually wave 4 and 5, I'll do this with the sorceress in normal. But a very easy way to get by some of the most challenging monsters in normal difficulties. Just lure them out, teleport by them. Now, you don't actually have to teleport. You can do this with a running character as well. It is a little bit more challenging, but yeah, skipping the waves can make life a lot easier in normal difficulty. So tip number 7 is to remind you guys to take advantage of the very powerful skill Static Field for the sorceress, especially in normal difficulty. It is a very powerful skill in Nightmare and Hell, but it is super overpowered in normal difficulty. You can bring a monster like Baal down to literally nothing with a handful of static, so I'm just going to demonstrate this now. Don't Fireball or Blizzard or whatever you want to do to Baal to bring him down. You definitely just want to use Static Field. So a couple statics here. Couple more. You can literally bring Baal down to 1 life like that. Just a couple fireballs. He's dead. That's how easy it is to kill Baal in normal. The mana burn stuff, and that can be a little bit annoying, but just use a bunch of static fields and bring him down to literally nothing, and then any minor attack and he'll fall over and die. So make sure you take advantage of the very powerful skill, Static Field. Tip number 8, almost through this video, is how to roll an easy 4-open socket sword to roll the Rumored Spirit in for a starting caster character. So I'm going to recommend that you go to normal cow difficulty, kill as many cows as it takes to find either a white crystal sword with no open sockets, a white broadsword with no open sockets, or a white longsword, again with no open sockets. I recommend crystal sword and broadsword because they have lower strength requirements. I'm going to demonstrate with a longsword because it was the first base that I found. I don't feel like farming forever to get the perfect base for a video. Just for demonstration purposes, I do have a broadsword that I've already rolled Spirit in. This has a 48 strength requirement, no dexterity requirement base. The longsword counterpart has a higher strength requirement of 55 and a dexterity requirement of 39, so it's not ideal, but just to demonstrate either a crystal sword, white sword, or longsword, that has no open sockets that drops from normal cow difficulty. Once you get that base, you're going to talk to Larzik.
Afternoon.
We're going to tell him to add some open sockets to it. And because of the item level of the base, it's always going to give you a guaranteed 4 open sockets. That is the easy way that you can roll the Rumeward Spirit for new caster characters in Diablo 2. Tip number 9 is very similar to tip number 8, and that is the easiest way to roll the Rumeward Spirit in a shield. Now, you cannot use any of the normal and elite regular shield bases. They don't roll 4 open sockets, so the first available base that can roll 4 open sockets that has the lowest strength requirement is a Monarch. So if you really want to make Spirit quickly in a shield, I suggest you find a plain white Monarch base. Again, ideally you'd want to drop something that already has 4 open sockets, but you can do the same thing you did with the Crystal Sword or the Long Sword from the previous tip, is if you Larzik a Monarch, it's going to give you a guaranteed 4 open sockets. So you can always take the chance of trying to drop something that already has sockets, or using the Heraldric Cube recipe to add sockets, but the easy guaranteed way is to, again, just apply a Larzik socket quest. So here's a plain white Monarch base. We'll add socket to it. Boom. 4 open socket, easy base to roll the Rumeward Spirit in a shield. Again, I recommend anything other than a Paladin, you should only be using a Monarch base to roll the Rumeward Spirit. So tip number 10, the final suggestion or tip or trick that I have for this video is how to Moat trick Mephisto. Now, this is my Battle.net character, so I do know I have full towels. I'm not like completely budget, but I really do want to show you guys how to Moat trick Mephisto because it's an easy way to get some gear early on in Hell difficulty. And so it's accomplished by, again, using the Moat for tricking Mephisto. So I don't recommend you use the Mercenary when you do this, but you just lure Mephisto to the very edge of the moat. So I could be completely naked. You can teleport down with horrible res, brutal gear. You will get one-shotted occasionally, like it happens, but I can just sit here and very, very slowly drop Blizzards on Mephisto. Now, clearly I have a geared up character, but the idea or purpose behind this is to teleport down with a very budget character, lure him so he can't do anything to you. Just take your time and kill Mephisto slowly over and over again and try and get your gear, and then you're just going to go back to Act 4. And you're just going to rinse and repeat and do this process over and over again. But it's a great way to gear up very early on, and you can see I was talking, had my hands off the keyboard, I wasn't doing anything. So if you do pull off this trick properly and you do it a lot of times, it's a great way to farm gear and kind of get a lot of your base items early on. Well guys, there you have it. That wraps up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite tip or trick was from this video, because I do hope this helped a lot of the new players that, again, are pummeling me with these types of questions on my Twitch streams. So yeah, hopefully you found it useful. And as always, if you guys could throw a like on this video, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content on YouTube, and I do stream twice a week on Twitch. 20 follows on Twitch or subs on YouTube would be amazing. Other than that, guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.